That is looking much better. And I don't even know what happened there. But this is the setting that I was looking for inside of this application. So, family, how are you doing? It's a privilege and an honor to connect with you at such a time as this. It's not by happenstance that you are here. You know, you've been guided here because you are here on purpose to do awesome, wonderful, great, exciting, spondicious things. You are not an accident. You know, you are a miracle. You are created on purpose to do exploits. And I'm not messing around when I say that. I'm not joking. I'm not fluffing here. Some of you may know me as an affiliate marketer. Some may know me as a coach, mentor, public speaker, cloud coach, transition coach. You may have ended up here through TikTok. I'm quite active on TikTok. However, due to restrictions, I've decided to invest more time into YouTube as there's more freedoms inside YouTube. So if it's your first time linking with me, a big hello. Do subscribe, connect, hit the alerts bell and stuff like that so that you can stay engaged. There is much more going on than you may understand or know. Much more. There's dimensions, there's levels to this. Levels. And if you're in a position at the moment where you thought to yourself, you know, why are you here? What is this life all about? There must be more to life than just waking up and going through the motions. Jumping out of your bed, opening them windows and nipping into the washroom, going through the groundhog of it all. There must be more to life. What is it? Why are you here? What is your purpose? Because I tell you this much, until you know what your purpose is, you are going to just be merrily existing. And I tell you this, it becomes more frustrating as you age. So I admonish you to stick around to the end. I've got some powerful things for you, so don't leave just yet, okay? You've been guided here for a huge reason. And I really believe that in this life, this can potentially radically change your life for the good, better and best. This could be the one. This could be the thing that you've been looking for many years. This could be it for you. This could be the one where the giant within you is released and you start to actually see who you are and why. This could be the one where your purpose is made manifest. This could be the one. But before I go any further, I just want to say congratulations on your achievements so far. And the best is yet to come concerning you. Now, my journey is a affiliate marketer. Because a lot of people, you know, so who are you, Kevin? What do you do? Well, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, there's been a few things from music production. So I'm the founder of Nuff Love Records, founded in the UK. I produce music for all genres, from hip hop, soul, R&B, dance, you name it. I don't really sit in a genre, just to be fair. I create as I'm felt. I create instrumentals for a smorgasbord of people, different music heads, different types of music heads, and really it's a case of if they like the sound, they'll use it. If the artist is PRS registered, then we can go 50-50 on splits or whatever the agreement is. So if you're a singer or songwriter, as an example, or a musician, you play instruments, and you so happen to be featured on any of my material, then you'll be rewarded credit-wise from the Performing Rights Society, could be MCPRS, whoever you're registered with. They will collect the points, the royalties, as a collective and reward you. I'll be rewarded once the music has been registered, whether live or digital, whether it's played on radio, whatever. So that's how I work as a musician, as a music producer. Okay, and that goes for engineers as well. Anybody who's had their hands on putting together any work that I create, we're all rewarded for it. So I enjoy creating music and putting out those good vibrations. Clothes maker, tailoring. So I'm a tailor, qualified tailor. I make menswear, women's wear, wedding dresses, whistling flutes for men. Anything from crop tops, A-panel, skirts, jackets, you name it. I'll pull out my lock stitch and my overlocker and get a few meters of that fabric in and stitch away, pattern cut, etc. That's something else I delight in. So I've done quite a few things, but my call, my quest is to coach you. I'm a transition coach, clarity coach. I'm here to help you win. I'm here to feed your faith and starve your doubts. I'm here to help you discover the treasure that's deep within you, rearing to come out, that giant within you. Okay? So the more you stick around in this atmosphere is the more that the stuff that doesn't matter, that's no longer serving you for the greater good, is removed, and the more that the real you, the authentic you, will spring forth speedily. And that's what we want, right? So the search is over. So why are you here? What are you created for? So could it be that you've been wanting to start an online business? Because in my heart of hearts, that's where I feel led to speak to you about online business. So let's talk about it. It doesn't matter what it is that you are interested in, what it is that you're passionate about, the very thing that you love to do. When you do that thing, time just ticks away. I specialize in helping you get all of that stuff out of your head, put it into a package, put it into the marketplace, online or offline, but more so online, so that we can leverage energy and time. And once you do so, you'll be rewarded for your acts of services rendered. So, what is it that you are interested in? Are you a lawyer? Are you a doctor, singer, songwriter, musician, inventor? Are you a tailor, seamstress? Do you write songs? Do you write books? Or maybe you've been thinking about it, but you just need a bit of a push to get you started. Well, you're in the right place. Here we are. You can find out some more details in regards to how to get started in the description box, or simply go on the top of the page and you'll find some links that will take you to a page where you can get some information to get the ball rolling. Or maybe you're in a place where you've been struggling and you feel like you're hitting a ceiling. Doesn't matter what you do, you cannot press forward. Something's blocking you and you need that blocked to be obliterated and annihilated so that you can start living your best life. If that's you, look no further. I'm here to help you 10x your results, to coach you, to remove those blocks, to remove those things that are keeping you stuck so that you can get those results that you know that you should be getting. You know, when is enough enough? How many times have you come to this place and it's like you've tried all of these different things and it's not working? It's not working. You know, you've got a ton of talent, you know? You've got a ton of talent. You've done a ton of things, but still you're here going through the motions, going through the same stuff. And it's like, what is it? What is it? What is stopping you? So I got good news. Here we are. I can help you shift. I can help you break through. So reach out to me if that's what it is you need. If you need assistance in breaking through and reaching to that next level, I'm telling you, you are going to be absolutely frustrated, busted and disgusted until you do so. So how did I start out as an affiliate marketer? Let's talk about it. So many moons ago, 2008, I was happily putting together products and services to offer to people that were in disadvantaged situations, wanting to better themselves. So I positioned myself as a life coach. And by doing so, I put together some packages, and I decided to offer these packages to employers that had a clientele of people that wanted to improve in their self-awareness, okay, and also in soft skills as well, and the self-image. So I'd put together these packages and I'd go into these places and offer my services. But there's one particular company that wanted to employ me for a long duration of time. So they wanted quite a lot of my time. So what I decided to do was put together a nice package for this company, offer my services to this company and their clients. And I was working heavily with this particular company. So I created a nice space, a nice office, inside the office, working with this clientele, which was around 95% females that were in a position where they were challenged in their self-image and they needed to shift and build the confidence up and go back out there into the wonderful world and smash it. So as a result of that, that was my clientele more time. And I was inside of this company offering my products and services. I had a whale of a time creating individual support plans for this wonderful set of people, doing things like relaxing and relating, soft skills, maths, English, etc., to business plans and also curriculum vitae, commonly known as a CV, to doing mock interviews, training, one-on-ones, going out there into the employment sector and helping each individual and also groups find employment. And not just that, but also housing as well. So it was in my interest to really help these individuals and the group to become more employable and to have more of a savvy kind of mindset in regards to business and the business world. And I loved it to bits. So here I was in my element, working inside of this company, putting together all of these plans, putting together these packages, having such a brilliant time, because no moment's the same when you're working with individuals, right? We are all different and we all come in different shapes and sizes, creeds and colours and different gifts. So I am happily putting together these packages inside of this company until one day I received this knock on my door. I'm like, oh, I wonder who that could be. Come in. So the door opens and it's the boss. And I'm like, oh, hi. And the boss was like, oh, hi, Kev. can I quickly have a word with you, please? So I said, sure. So I walk out of my office into the boss's office, sat down. It was really quiet and really awkward. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's happening here. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. And then when my boss was ready, the boss turned around and said to me, Kevin, I've got some news for you. I don't know how we are going to pay you this month. So you can imagine how I felt, right? It was like, um, what do you mean exactly? You don't know how to pay me this month. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. So can you imagine me? The emotional swing. Here I am on top of this mountain, and then suddenly it's like, not going to be paid this month. And I'll never forget the feeling and the thoughts that was going through my mind, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do from here? And I had all sorts of things going on in my mind, all of these thoughts. One of the thoughts that really stood out was this: I never, ever want to be in this position ever again, right? Anyway, here I am inside of the office, coming to terms with this information. And as the day had gone on, I thought, right, let me just allow this to sink in, right? So the information sinks in. And I'm thinking to myself, exit strategy. I do not want to be in this position ever again. I need to set myself up so that I'm not in this situation ever again. So I decided to completely learn a ton of different things. Change your mind, change your life, right? So I started to read different content. Books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki, The 1 Minute Millionaire, books like that, The Richest Man in Babylon. I would walk through fields and places like the Arboretum where there's a lot of greenery, a lot of trees and plants and grass, you know, to take in that good prana and relax whilst reading these books. And as I continued to read these books, my mindset started to shift, which was absolutely phenomenal. Information that I'd not been exposed to before. Information that I would often hear about in many other places. But for me to be delving into books and reading this stuff and taking it in for myself and allowing this information to be personalized, it was definitely a paradigm shift for me at the time. Now, whilst reading this content and going through a change in my mindset, I met an absolutely phenomenal lady who I started to date. And she was very savvy, extremely blue collar, focused, prosperity minded for the greater good. And she introduced me to somebody called Tony Robbins, a motivational speaker, phenomenal person. At the time, cable TV was a thing. Cable TV was extremely popular. And Tony Robbins, used to be everywhere on that platform, right? And he was heavily promoting something called the Firewalk at the time. And my amazing ex-girlfriend, she would be screaming about Anthony Robbins. Kev, you need to get into Anthony Robbins and listen to this content. And back then, CDs, it was all about CDs. So I burned a ton of Anthony Robbins CDs and I'd sit down and listen to these CDs with my headphones on, like heavily. I got engrossed. I baptized myself in Anthony Robbins content. And these CDs were brilliant. I mean, I had around 20 of these CDs in the packet, right? And I'd sit down and just play them, like, one track after the other, and go on the whole journey with Anthony Robbins. And I'd learn a lot of things about self-image, the subconscious mind, you know, swishing techniques, and just a ton of things. The psychology of how stuff works, right? From a biological standpoint, spiritual standpoint. And NLP was a thing, the Bandler model, Richard Bandler model at the time. So that was my first exposure into neuro-linguistic programming. That's what it stands for. That's the abbreviation. And again, that was extremely life-changing. I will never forget at the time, because my diet wasn't as good as it is now. And I remember going to my ex-girlfriend's house one day and going into the kitchen and opening up the cupboards. And I couldn't see packets of crisps. I couldn't see products with like gelatin in. I couldn't see a lot of the fast food, all the bright colours in the cupboards. It looked extremely bland and boring. And I remember thinking to myself, what is this? And she was like, yeah, well, Kev, this is pretty much me. This is how I eat. And the colours were really green and really brown. I didn't know anything about echinacea. I didn't know anything about a lot of natural products which are highly vibrational and extremely wonderful for your body. And I remember how that felt at the time. Just looking inside the cupboard, I was thinking, gosh, this is so boring. But after time, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I could see how far off I was in terms of having optimal health. My diet was poor. I remember how my body used to feel at the time. I used to have extremely high blood pressure. And that was from a result of drinking a lot of like high energy drinks, high caffeine rather drinks, and a lot of junk, a lot of fast food and things. So again, going through this shift from the diet shift was something else too, thanks to my ex-girlfriend. Again, heavily instrumental in that shift. Now, Tony Robbins, the firewalk. The firewalk, if you've ever done a firewalk, you will know about it, right? If you haven't done a firewalk, then I urge you, do a firewalk. Mind over matter. Once you've done it, what will happen is your outlook, your body will be conditioned, number one, to break through a ton of things. And on a subconscious level, psychological level, you will find that there'll be a lot of collapsation taking place in things that have held you back. Because what happens is, after you've gone through that fire walk, there is something about the mind and the body that happens, which prepares you for a ton of things moving on into the future. So in that time, 2008, a lot of change happened in a short space of time. I would say I'd gone through the change in 2 years, more change in 2 years for the good, better and best than I'd gone through for the majority of my life. I kid you not. So I was invited to a internet marketing seminar at the time in 2008 by my ex-girlfriend. She's like, Kevin, you need to come to this internet marketing seminar. It's held in Earls Court, London, hosted by a gentleman who goes by the name of Mark Anastasi, right? Now, at this time, I'd never been to an internet marketing seminar in my whole entire life. And I was excited about the whole thing, right? What am I to expect? Now, based upon what I was told, this was a gentleman who was passionate about people and people's lives being radically improved for the good, better, and best. This gentleman was an affiliate marketer, heavily involved in affiliate marketing, and he was on his life quest to impact as many people as possible. At the time, he was fairly new in the industry at the time as well. And Mark Anastasi, his story, he was coming from humble beginnings. He was working for like £3 an hour at one point as a security guard, and he was broke, busted, and disgusted, destitute, and really broke. And once upon a time, he was in a supermarket choosing between two pieces of fruit, which ones to buy. That's how challenging it got for him, right? But fortunately, he had a friend that was excellent on computers, and his friend knew how to create products on the internet. Before Mark was exposed to this information, he was sofa surfing, going through a ton of things in his life until he decided to go to see his friend. And his friend kindly chose to share some information with him, with Mark. As a result of that, Mark started to follow the instructions that his friend was showing him and created something called an eBook, a digital product, okay, which Mark then hosted on the internet thanks to a platform called Google Ads. Mark put his product inside of Google. Mark became financially independent and didn't even know. Mark had thousands of dollars coming into his account and he wasn't even aware. He was still sofa surfing at his mate's house until he checked his account only to see thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's when his life completely changed, which helped him to go on his life quest as a public speaker. And he created inspired seminars and he put on an event in Earlscourt, London. And that was the event that I attended. So here I am on the motorway going to this event thinking, I wonder what's going to happen. I was just told to bring a notepad. So I brought my notepad with me and I attended this seminar. I remember getting out of the vehicle and walking into this hotel, into these big doors. And as I walked into the room, it was filled with a ton of different people from all different walks of life, a coat of many colours. It was so wonderful to see. Great music playing, the energy was high in the room, great conversation, just a ton of different people. And here I am walking in like, whoa, you know. As the crowd started to simmer down and the event was about to start, I remember sitting down at the back. And then this gentleman walks to the front, Mark Anastasi, in this like white shirt and blue jeans. Was it blue jeans? Yeah, blue jeans, white shirt and a black jacket. And he's walking down to the front with a headset on, right? And then he gets the crowd motivated and pumped up and everyone's getting out of the seats, you know. And then we go into the seminar. And I remember Mark Anastasi saying this: has anybody inside of this room made money online? Let me see a show of hands. And I remember thinking, well, I've sold something on eBay, so I, qualify. And people putting up their hands and stuff. I remember looking around, thinking, wow. And then Mark Anastasi started to tell his story. So he's telling his story through some slides on a projector. And I'm sitting down with the rest of the crowd, looking at these slides on the projector. And then we go into a simple strategy which Mark Anastasia shared. And this is when it was time to take copious notes. So here I am with this notepad and pen, and Mark is sharing all of these different things on these slides. So I'm scribing away, taking these notes. And inside of this system, it was how to make money online thanks to Google Ads and ClickBank. Now, ClickBank is a digital marketplace for people that create information products, and it's also a platform for affiliates, which are people that want to promote other people's products. That's an affiliate. ClickBank marinates the two. It's a bridge. So it's adding value to the marketplace for people that want to sell and people that want to create and be paid. Wonderful platform. Free to set up in ClickBank. You simply go to clickbank.com. You create an account for free. You put your details in there so that you can receive payments. So account details. Once you've created a ClickBank account, you create something called a hop link. A hop link is connected to you, so that whenever you select a product that you'd like to promote inside of ClickBank and you're happy with it, ClickBank knows to pay you whenever a person clicks on the link, which is connected to you, and a person makes a purchase, right? You've got all different levels of how you can be paid by selling other people's products inside ClickBank. You can be paid a one-time commission. You can be paid recurring fees, and you can set the different percentages as well. So you can be paid like 20%, 50%, 90% at times, sometimes 100%. It's all down to what you're promoting and what the setup is. I'll give you an example. If you are a publisher of a product, so you might have an idea as I'm speaking to you, you might have an idea for a book, and that book will heal people, right? You might be an author, and you've had this idea to write this book, and you know this book has the potential to heal plenty of people, right? So you write this book, and now you've got this book, you want to showcase it, you want to host it in a place where people can find it. Now, the beautiful thing about ClickBank is ClickBank's been online for decades. It's a respected platform, extremely professional, and it has tons of people that are familiar with it, and they have a ton of followers. They have a huge database. So for you to create a product and put it inside of ClickBank, you can know for a fact of truth that people, once they find out that your product is inside ClickBank, it's a trusted platform, very professional in how they're set up. So you can have your product up and running inside ClickBank as a product creator, a publisher. Once your product is finished, upload it to ClickBank, and people will rush to your products. If they're looking for a product to promote in your niche and you have a product inside of ClickBank and they find your product, they will ask to be affiliated to it. And it's a straightforward process. Once they are affiliated to your product and they're promoting it, they will be paid each time your product is sold based upon the agreements that you have in place, the splits. So you could say, okay, then whoever promotes my product inside ClickBank and creates a sale will be paid 50%, right? So if it's $100 that you are selling your product for, they'll be paid $50. And it's all automated. ClickBank takes care of everything, from the affiliate's point of view to the product creator's point of view. Once you have it hosted inside of ClickBank, it's all done. So that was a platform that Mark started to use to promote his first ebook, and tons of people were purchasing the book. So Mark was making a small fortune. Mark shared this information and I'm taking notes, right? I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So here I am thinking, okay, I've got all of this information now. I want to put it to practice. So at the event finishes, we start winding down. Everyone's talking to themselves, getting to know each other inside of this seminar, internet marketing seminar. And I'm thinking, wow, this is awesome. I've met new people, new faces in new places. Such a life-changing experience. I've got contact numbers, business contacts, and also I've been exposed to new information that could radically change my life, right? At this point, I'm excited thinking, I just want to get home and put this information to practice. So here I am thinking, oh, come on, can't wait till the event's over. I'm on the motorway driving home. But what happens? I start having these thoughts coming in, limiting beliefs. And the thoughts were like this: Kevin, do you think this is really going to work for you? Why is this chap going to come to this seminar and share this information for you to succeed? And based upon my mindset at the time, I had limiting beliefs. I had things in my mind like, oh, this guy just wants your data. He just wants to take your data and use it so that he can make a ton of money. But then I thought to myself, why would somebody invest their energy, their time, their money into putting on an event just to collect data, and also his reputation, putting that online? So those mixed feelings, which had a lot to do with me procrastinating. But when I got home and switched on my computer, my PC at the time, I started putting this information to practice in my notes. So here I am inside of my notes, right? Rubbing my hands, excited. I felt like Neo in a film called The Matrix, where he's inside of a simulation program and he's running to jump off a cliff to see if he can reach onto the other side. And here I am excited, putting this information to practice, typing away on my computer, creating an account with ClickBank, looking for a product to promote, following the instructions. And whilst I was doing this, I remember going into the kitchen, grabbing food, going back into the room. I was really procrastinating, I'm telling you. But I managed to press through all of that and execute. I finally finished all the information that I picked up. I put it to practice, right? So now's the moment of truth. I'm waiting for monies to start coming in. Now, I went to this forum. I found a product inside of ClickBank. It was by a vendor called 6 Day Fetch. A vendor is the person that's created the product and has it hosted inside of ClickBank, right? The vendor was called 6 Day Fetch, and the product that I was promoting was about dogs. I don't know a thing about dogs. I love dogs to bits. However, I managed to find a community that was passionate about dogs, and there was no information inside of this forum. So that's why I thought it would be a good idea to add value into this marketplace by becoming affiliated to a product inside of ClickBank. I placed a link inside this forum and I sat back and I waited, and I did not see a single dollar come through. I've felt so discouraged. I felt like Neo in the Matrix when he jumps and then he falls to the ground and he bounces all the way into the ground and then back up and then lands on it again. That's how I felt. I thought, nah. But anyway, and that is when the limiting beliefs started kicking in again. I told you, it's all a scam. It's not going to work. It won't work for you. It will work for other people, but you need to be like X, Y, and Z in order for it to work for you, Kev. So I remember getting on with my day, doing my normal things that I'd ordinarily do. But something happened. I went back to check my ClickBank account, just to see if there's any transactions. And guess what? I started to see transactions for $47, after $47, after $47, after $47, after $47, after $47. And that's when it all became real. There is something about when you get your first check online, thanks to ClickBank, thanks to my ex, thanks to everything that happened up to that point. Everything that's happening inside of your life is happening for a good reason, is to prepare you for the here and the now, right? When that happened to me, I remember putting my hands on my head thinking, oh my gosh, it works. This stuff works. I was pleasantly surprised, a bit shocked. I remember putting my hands on my head and staring at my computer screen. After that was it. Something just clicked in me. It was like, I'm going to continue to pursue this stuff. I started going absolutely bonkers. I was creating all of these different accounts and all of these different things. I was doing all sorts. All I could think about was, how do I get free traffic? Use systems to get free traffic, to promote things. That was it. It was like, I was becoming so busy. A valuable lesson had to be learned at this point. I was so super busy as an affiliate marketer that I wasn't keeping on top of everything that I was doing. My management skills weren't as good as they are now. I had a ton of email accounts for a ton of things. And at the time, Twitter was rebranding their brand, and they were super strict at the time. And I was using YouTube at the time to get exposure to products that I was promoting. And I had a massive YouTube channel that was devoted to certain niches where I was promoting products. One of my biggest products that I was making some handsome commissions of was a yeast infection product. And I purchased a domain name, yeast infection away domain name. And I had that absolutely everywhere with little videos to help people beat yeast infection, candida yeast infection. Some powerful information. And that was making me thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Through YouTube alone. So I was doing all sorts of things, and YouTube was sending me these messages because they were getting strict. YouTube was saying, right, you're not allowed to use certain Twitter content. If you don't take down the Twitter content, you will get banned. And I was receiving these strikes. And because I was super busy doing a ton of things, I wasn't on top of the messages that I was getting from YouTube, and I got the strikes. And guess what happened to my massive account with over 42,000 people on there and tons of content and loads of affiliate links everywhere? Guess what happened to that channel? It got banned. All of that energy, all of that time into building that channel and that content went just like that. I felt like crying my eyes out. I cannot explain the feeling of how that felt. It felt so horrible. I remember picking up my laptop, walking out of my flat at the time, and walking to Asda cafe and sitting on a table in a state of shock, disbelief, anger, resentment, pain, all sorts of stuff going on. It was just a horrible time. I'll never forget it. I remember thinking to myself, I am never doing this again, this affiliate marketing stuff, the online world. If I can build up something as big as that and lose it just like that, I don't want to do this anymore. And I stayed away from the internet. I was so discouraged as an affiliate marketer. I spat my dummy out. I wanted no more of it. And I became so discouraged, my confidence dropped at some lows. And that was a character building time for me. And I went away for quite some time. I didn't set up another YouTube channel. I stopped doing affiliate marketing for quite a bit. The difference now is, now that I'm back, I have the knowledge, I have the skills, I'm more aware, I'm more competent, more careful, understand how to manage certain things. I check stuff and I have a higher level of how to operate, and I operate more swiftly and more uniquely. Hence why I am an avid member of the 100K Alliance. If you don't know about the 100K Alliance, it's a business that's built for you and given to you on a platter. It's helping tons of people just like you create passive income online, set and forget. You are coached until you are doing 10K per month plus online. Even when you're doing that, you can still stay because information's always changing, and you'll be connected to people that are doing some big numbers in sales online. They actually coach you, not just them, but you're connected to me inside there and a ton of other people, because you don't just get the business, you also get connected to a community of people that are on the journey on all different levels, doing some wonderful things. The 100K Alliance is a flagship program that I'm happy to be a part of. I've got tickets, I've got the receipts there. I can show you certain commissions that I've managed to get through the 100K Alliance. So as an affiliate marketer, this is for anybody, in fact, that wants to create passive income online and you don't know where to start. If that's you and you want a set and forget system ready-made, a business ready-made that will help you build steady passive income, hold your hand and help you build passive income online, I urge you to take action. There's a link inside of this page. Have a look, you'll see it. 100K Alliance. Click on the link, it will take you to that product and you can sign up and get going. Just take action, sign up and get going. If you're looking for something, if you've tried everything and it hasn't worked, stop trying everything else and do the 100K Alliance. So yeah, that's for you, okay? So do not be discouraged. I'm telling you, you are more than enough. If you have tried a ton of things, you're thinking to yourself, you want a better quality life. You want to do things, you want to travel, you want to see people, you want to go on journeys, you want to be more creative. Maybe you want more time to go and see your loved ones, or You want more time to create, write that music, or write them poems, or work on building those things that you want to build. Maybe it's you want to go out in ministry and serve more, but you just need to have a passive income, something that's going to free up time so you can do what you love. The 100K Alliance is for you. For anybody that is passionate about whatever you're passionate about, if you just want something that's going to work for you. As an affiliate marketer, it's a no-brainer. The 100K Alliance will work for anybody, whosoever, whatsoever. Doesn't matter where you're coming from, what kind of knowledge you have. Maybe you don't know a single thing about online marketing, affiliate marketing. I urge you to check out the 100K Alliance. Check out the 100K Alliance. So yeah, that's my humble beginnings as an affiliate marketer. Let me get some more light in here. There you go. As a 100K, as an affiliate marketer, that was my humble beginnings. There's more to the story in regards to the internet marketing experience, right? So a couple of years ago on, I remember going to London to see some family members. And I went into my email account only to see a message from the host of the internet marketing seminar, Mark Anastasi. And at the time, he was writing his first book entitled The Laptop Millionaire. You may have heard about it, a very popular book. The book went on to become a New York Times bestseller. Mark was asking for testimonials for people that have used the information that he shared at his seminar. And with me being a person that used his information, I responded back by saying, "Hi Mark, it just so happens that I've had some good success by utilizing the information that you shared with me." Mark responded back by saying, "Fantastic. Would you like me to feature your story in a book that I'm writing?" I responded back by saying, "Of course, I would love that." Mark then gets back to me by saying, "Fantastic. I will feature your story on page 77, your case study on page 77 of that book." So I'm like, cool, looking out for it. So the book gets printed, published. It goes on to become a New York Times bestseller. And my story's in there, my case study. So you can imagine what that did for me, right? Number one, I became endorsed. Number two, it was the first time that I've been in a book, a New York Times bestseller. So not only did that raise my confidence levels, but it also made me become more believable to others. People could see that I knew what I was talking about. They knew that I could do what I said I could do. And I had a story to tell. So as I was going out on my journey, I would say to people, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Kevin Clarke. I'm an affiliate marketer. You may have heard about me in the New York Times bestseller, The Laptop Millionaire by Mark Anastasi," right? It just felt different. It felt good to be able to say that, being endorsed and stuff. So that was my start in affiliate marketing, and I've not looked back since. The journey's been quite interesting. I've been places, tons of things have happened. I've had some mountain experiences, I've had some valley experiences, which I'll talk about in another video. But in terms of humble beginnings, listen, I know what humble beginnings are like, because since then, I've gone through some life-changing stuff, which I will speak about in another video. But what I'll do is park this. So on that note, it doesn't matter where you are, what you've been through, what your story is. You can change the story at any given time. Why not change the story now? If you're there scratching your head like, "Kevin, I need a shift in my life. I want to meet new people with results, good results, so I can copy them and get the same results." I need the tools, I need material, I need something, just something that will work. I admonish you to jump on the 100K Alliance and do not look back. Details are in the description box, above or below, wherever you go. It's there for you. I'll see you on the inside. That's it from me, Kevin Clarke. Believe in you. Stay focused. I love you. Bye for now.